It feels thick.
It's a cone made of chocolate chip cookies.
I just love cookies. It smells like toothpaste. It's still like chewy. 10 out of 10. You need it. Hey guys, what's up? It's LD. Welcome back to another episode of LD Eats. So today is one of my favorite food holidays. I know we already had National Ice Cream Day, but this is probably my third favorite food holiday. It is National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. And if you know me, if you've been watching the channel for any length of time, you know that I absolutely love chocolate chip cookies. So today we are going to be going around Oklahoma City to find the best chocolate chip cookie. Now, I have done some research. I've looked on different websites to try to figure out who has the best chocolate chip cookie, and there have been some solid recommendations. I have never had any of them. So we're going to make a few stops in Oklahoma City, probably one in Edmonds. Let's go get some cookies and celebrate National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. Alright guys, so first up we have this ginormous chocolate chip cookie from Nash Bird. Nash Bird is a hot chicken place down on 9th Street downtown. I have seen so many pictures of this chocolate chip cookie. It looks like they have chunks, so it looks like they use the circular chips, but this thing is really big. It's starting to melt a little bit, so we are going to start eating this. I like thicker cookies. This one's pretty thin, as you can see, but I am still excited to eat it, so let's go. So one of the tests of a good cookie is to see how it breaks in half. If it's soft, if it breaks easily. This is what we're working with here. Alright, so look at this. We're gonna take a bite. Ready? So you've got the big chocolate pieces on top. There are smaller chunks, and then there are like chocolate chunks inside too. The actual dough itself is pretty good. Even though there's a ton of chocolate in here, I think it's all semi-sweet. I could be wrong, but it's not like this isn't like an overly sweet chocolate chip cookie. It is rich, but it's not overly sweet. The dough itself has a pretty good flavor. This is a bit of a chewier cookie. You know, I prefer the thicker cookies, a little bit dry, but overall, pretty solid. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. I forgot to bring napkins with me or get any napkins inside, but luckily I have paper towels in my car, so just broke into those bad boys, and look at me being resourceful. So our second stop is Elemental, which is a coffee shop down in Oklahoma City, and I have been on multiple websites that said they have the best chocolate chip cookie in Oklahoma City, and it's vegan, which is always really interesting to me that a vegan product, not that I have anything against vegans, but you know, there are so many ingredients that they can't use, so it's interesting to me that a vegan product would be the winner. This cookie looks absolutely amazing. It is a salted chocolate chip cookie, so as you can see here, there is some salt on there. This is so soft. I'm gonna take a bite over here. Wow. This definitely has a unique flavor. The flavor of the dough is very different from a typical chocolate chip cookie, I would say, but I'm not mad about it. I can't quite put my finger on what this tastes like. It's kind of almost got like a cornmeal kind of taste to it, but not in a bad way. It tastes good. The dough isn't overly sweet. It's very soft. It's not dry. The salt on the top really enhances the flavor of the dough. I'm not going to be able to accurately describe. It's very unique, very different. There aren't a whole lot of chocolate chips in here, which I don't think is a bad thing because you have more time to spend with this dough with the interesting flavor, so I think it works. That's a very good cookie. I didn't mean to eat that whole half. It just kept happening, so I definitely like the consistency of that cookie. It's more my type. It's a denser cookie that's thicker, and the middle is softer. I mean, that's just the kind of cookie that I like personally. There's not as many chocolate chips in this dough, so if you're not a super chocolatey chocolate chip person, I guarantee that you will like this cookie. I like this cookie. I would definitely come get it again. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Guys, so we're at the next stop, which is Green Goodies, and it's a bakery down in Class and Curve. They have vegan and gluten-free options. I did actually get a vegan cookie and a gluten-free cookie. They did not have any of the regular ones, so we're vegan and gluten-free today. Okay, so this one is the gluten-free, and it is like super thin and crumbly, and it's like falling apart in my hand. It's like a pancake, I think. I haven't really had many gluten-free products, to be honest with you. Okay. This one is very oily. My hands are super greasy. The dough has a good flavor, but it's really greasy. The outsides are really crunchy and kind of like hard and chewy. The flavor's not bad, but I'm not a big fan of the texture. But if I were gluten-free, I would probably think this cookie was awesome. I wouldn't choose to get that cookie over a regular cookie, to be honest with you. It's not bad, but it's also not great. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Next up, we have the vegan cookie from Green Goodies. This looks a lot like the elemental cookie that I just had, which was also vegan. This one is a little bit thinner, a little bit more spread out. Let's go ahead and break this. This has a pretty similar flavor to the elemental one. They're both very soft, which I really appreciate that. Crunchy on the edges. I feel like this one has more chocolate chips than the elemental one. This one also does not have any salt, but I feel like with this one, there's a bit of a weird aftertaste. To be honest with you, I like the flavor of the gluten-free one better, but I like the texture of this vegan one. So if you can just combine those two, then it would be a pretty good cookie. This isn't bad, isn't great. I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. Alright guys, we are at the last stop, and we are at One Smart Cookie, and it's in Edmond. It kind of looks like Eileen's a little bit, or like an Eileen spinoff, but it was super nice in there, and they had great customer service. I did get the chocolate chip. Just based on looking at it, it is a little bit more done than I would like, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, so we're gonna break this. Just looks like your standard run-of-the-mill chocolate chip cookie. This tastes homemade. The outsides are crunchy, inside is soft, it's chewy. The flavor of the dough is pretty good. Proper amount of chocolate in here. This is pretty good. I do prefer a bit of a denser cookie. This one is a little flat for my liking, but overall, not bad. It tasted homemade, which I really appreciate, because who wants to go to a bakery and get a cookie that tastes like it's from the store? I don't think it was my favorite from today, but I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Alright guys, so I'm going to rank all of the cookies that I ate today. So, number 1, we are going to go with the Elemental chocolate chip cookie, which I did not expect. It has such a unique flavor, and the salt on the top just really adds a lot. I did not expect for that to be my favorite, but it is. Number 2, we're going to go with the chocolate chip cookie from One Smart Cookie. Number 3, we're going to go with the chocolate chip cookie from Nash Bird. Number 4, we're going to go with the vegan cookie from Green Goodies. And number 5, we're going to go with the gluten-free chocolate chip cookie from Green Goodies. As you might have noticed, my ratings with the cookies were a little bit more harsh than usual. I am extremely passionate about cookies. There's a whole lot of science that goes into making an excellent cookie, and there's different types of butters, different types of sugars that you can combine to make an excellent cookie. I'm a bit of a cookie snob, and I'm sorry, but it's just how I am. It is very hard to impress me with a cookie. Overall, I would say that Oklahoma City has a pretty weak cookie game, honestly. There aren't a whole lot of places that are known for amazing cookies, but the ones that I've had today are pretty good. If you know somewhere better to get chocolate chip cookies or cookies in general, leave a comment down below, send me a DM, I would love to go try them. Alright guys, so we are back in my apartment after going around Oklahoma City all day finding awesome chocolate chip cookies. So I figured that some of you guys might not be super close to the bakeries that I went to, or have time to go to a bakery, or even want to go to a bakery, so I decided to go to the store. I've been wanting to try some of these products, so I use this as an excuse to buy them. I figured that I would review these and let you guys know if these are worth picking up for National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, so let's give these items a try. I went to Crest. I found these chocolate chip cookies, and they're made with Hershey's Kisses. And these are called David's Triple Chocolate Cookies. Okay, so I just want you to look at the size of this cookie compared to this plate. Now, this is a rather small plate, but this is a pretty big cookie, and it's pretty hefty too. And here is what we have inside. Actually looks kind of dry. That's disappointing, but we will see how it tastes. And I feel like this is a really good bite with the chunks and the kisses on there. And these kisses, they look like they got a little hot because they have like these little bubbles on them. I don't know about this. This is very chocolatey. Very. This is a very chewy cookie. The flavor of the actual dough is kind of like, eh. This one I feel was cooked a little bit longer than I would like, but it's not burnt. I don't think I would get this again. I feel like there's better options out there. For a store-bought cookie, I've had way worse. I wouldn't recommend these, and I don't feel like they're worth your calories or your time. Honestly, they're dry. I'm gonna give these a 5 out of 10. They're acceptable. So next up we have this Toll House edible chocolate chip cookie dough. Edible cookie dough has become such a fad that I don't really understand, because I have eaten cookie dough with eggs in it my whole life. So this whole edible cookie dough thing, it just fascinates me. I don't really understand it. The cookie dough is the best part of making the cookie, in my opinion. So, I don't know. Whatever. We're gonna try this. And I did scoop some out already. I haven't tasted it, but I'll show you what I did with that in a minute. But it's pretty soft. There's a lot of chocolate chunks in here. Okay. Tastes like cookie dough. I feel like the texture of this might be a little bit different than the normal cookie dough with like eggs in it. And I feel like it's a little bit softer too. But overall, I feel like this is pretty true to a cookie dough taste. It's got that little bit of grittiness. The mini chocolate chips in here are a really nice touch because they add a lot of texture. I like this. If you like eating cookie dough, you could probably sit and eat this whole thing. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. With each of the edible cookie doughs, I decided to bake some of the cookie dough. Now, I just took a scoop out of here, put it in the oven at 350 for like 10 minutes, and this is what happened. So this looks pretty pathetic. But I'm gonna taste it and see how the cookie turned out from the edible cookie dough. It's really sticky. And this is like, feels like wax. This is weird. Don't try to bake this cookie dough. This is like really chewy. The bottom's like all waxy. This is not good. I mean, the flavor's not bad, but the texture, 100% terrible. This edible cookie dough baked, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. So don't try to bake this one. But if you wanna eat it straight out of here, tastes good. All right, guys, next up we have Pillsbury chocolate chip cookie dough. And they have now put this little stamp of approval on here that says, safe to eat raw, eat or bake. They used to put a disclaimer on here saying that you're putting yourself at risk by eating raw cookie dough, but now they've made it safe for everybody. So this is technically another edible cookie dough. So we're just gonna taste this raw and see if it tastes like it's always tasted. I have not had Pillsbury cookie dough in a long time. Honestly, this tastes like I always remember Pillsbury cookie dough tasting. Super sugary. I don't feel like this tastes any different than it did when I was a kid, but maybe it does. I don't know. I think Pillsbury makes pretty solid bakeable products. It's not anything great, and it's obviously not as good as a homemade cookie. So I'm gonna give this cookie dough 6 out of 10. And just like with the Toll House, I did bake these. So these cookies come out pretty small. I made 2 of them, and they sound pretty hard. Did you hear that? So I put these in the oven, 350 for like 10 minutes, which I guess I should have done a little less time, but you know, you live and learn. Here we go. I mean, honestly, you guys know how I feel about crunchy cookies. I don't really like them. Part of this is my fault, but they have a good flavor. So if I just had baked these a little less, they would have a higher rating. I think this is a hot take. In my opinion, Pillsbury's cookie dough tastes better baked than it does raw. I would rather have a Pillsbury cookie than Pillsbury cookie dough. So I'm gonna give this cookie a 7 out of 10. I would recommend to bake the Pillsbury cookie dough. Don't eat this one. So for the last edible cookie dough that we have the Ben & Jerry's chocolate chip cookie dough chunks. And these are snackable, it says snackable dough. These are found in the freezer section by the Ben & Jerry's ice cream. They have a few other flavors too. But I've been wanting to try this for a while, and they're already in these little chunks for you. So you could definitely sit down and watch something on Netflix and eat this whole entire bag without realizing what you did. I mean, this is the same cookie dough that's in Ben & Jerry's ice cream. You can tell. This is ice cream quality cookie dough. I feel like this is very similar to the Pillsbury cookie dough, both in texture and in taste, except Pillsbury always has like that little twang to it. I don't know how to explain it, but if you've ever had Pillsbury cookie dough, you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, to be honest with you. It's just kind of like this sugary, gritty dough with chocolate chips in it. I don't know. Clearly, I don't hate it because I just keep eating it. These are pretty good, and I like the fact that they're in these little bitty pieces. Highly snackable. And if I had these in my freezer, I would probably just go by and grab like 2 or 3 and eat them, and probably go through a package of these in like a day. So these could be very dangerous simply because of the nature of this packaging. I'm gonna give this dough, we'll give it a 7 out of 10. And just like the other ones, I did bake this one. This cookie actually turned out pretty well. So I just took a bunch of these little chunks and I just smashed them all together and made this cookie, cooked it at 350 for about 10 minutes. And this one turned out looking the best between the Toll House, the Pillsbury, and this one. So let's give this a try. This cookie is very dense. The inside is not quite done. It's pretty doughy. So it is kind of like you're eating the cookie dough. It got crunchy on the outside and on the bottom, but it's still soft on the inside. I will admit, the texture is a little bit weird. It's not terrible. The flavor of the dough is still kind of just, It's not that great. I don't hate it. I'm not mad about it. I would probably bake it again. Yeah, you can bake this one. The cookie might be a little bit weird, but if you're craving cookies, this will do. I'm gonna give the cookie a 6 out of 10. Alright guys, last but not least, we have some ice cream from Bluebell. This is milk and cookies. This is vanilla flavored ice cream with chocolate chip cookies. That's it. That's all it is. I believe I've had this flavor before, but I'm not really sure. Definitely haven't had it on this channel before. If I have had it, it's been reviewed on my Insta story, which is gone. And they released this just in time for National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, so good thinking on their part. Smart marketing. Alright, here's what we're dealing with here. The cookie chunks for sure. Oh, wow. Look at that cookie chunk. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Guys, this is straight up cookie. I mean, this looks amazing. Alright, check this out. Look, I swear there's like half a cookie in this bite. It's just a cookie with vanilla ice cream. You can't really mess it up, honestly. The cookie's nice and soft. I wish there were more chocolate chips. The cookie's got a decent flavor, not super great. I mean, it tastes like a store-bought cookie. What do you expect? And this is just run-of-the-mill Bluebell vanilla ice cream. If you dunk your chocolate chip cookies in milk, you will like this. If you like ice cream sandwiches with the 2 chocolate chip cookies on the outside and vanilla ice cream in the middle, you will like this. I would probably prefer a cookie dough ice cream because, as I've said, I do prefer cookie dough to the cooked cookies, but this is a super solid flavor and I would definitely get it again, especially if I were celebrating National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this review. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you've been enjoying these National Food Holiday reviews, let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button, and if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I want to encourage you guys to get better today than you were yesterday and do something nice for somebody, and I will see you in the next review.